So I watched this new movie recently called Obsession, and if you're watching this recently from when I post this, it's on theaters right now, and you've probably seen the trailers. It's a pretty popular indie movie, but kind of spoilers. But if you've seen the trailers, it kind of tells you the plot. But essentially, this guy makes a wish that makes this girl obsessed with him, and she's like really in love with him to the point that it's almost like crazy. Like she's crazy. Anyways, um, but the movie, when I was watching it, I felt really the sense of eeriness and unease, and I thought it was the creepiness of the actress. She did a great job, by the way. Um, but those quiet scenes where the characters are just existing, I kind of had to sit with my thoughts. And later on, after the movie, I hit the gym, and when I on my way back home, I realized what it was. And it's this idea that I named the social architect, and it's very cruel. And the movie makes it extreme and really shows you the cruelty of it. And I'll explain what it is and why it's cruel. But this idea is that imagine like you have a crush, you really like this girl, and you know what she likes based on maybe you've seen her Instagram or you've known her for a while, and you formulate this character in yourself that she will like. Maybe you mimic her interest or say things that she want to hear. Um, but that's kind of like this inverse relationship, like the wish in this movie. Um, this wish in this movie is it grants any wish, but it kind of bypasses this human level that we have. The wish just grants it kind of like a monkey's paw, where it's so literal in how it grants the wish, and that's how we are. So when we have like this crush, we want to do everything in our power to obtain him or her, depending on who's watching. But it's the same level of cruelty that the movie shows, right? You are fabricating this person's reality to basically meet your selfish end goals. And I thought a little bit deeper and I thought even beyond relationships, right? So at my job, I'm currently a finance manager, and I speak to salespeople and managers and all of that other stuff pretty often. And I'm able to kind of teach and guide people to do better. But what I've realized is that my intentions were not as pure as I thought. And that's kind of this what the movie taught me, right? I can wish for these salespeople, like in the movie, for them to do better, achieve more. And my wish is typically granted, but it's all really selfish, right? I never really invited the salesperson. I never really asked the salesperson out, per se, right? I never really asked him if he wants to or she wants to level up, go to the next level. I just put more and more expectations on them. And it's kind of scary, right? Because the cruelty of the main character Bear, you really see it. There's this one scene where, once again, spoilers, she asked the main character to kill herself um, before she, before the fake her basically takes over. And it's really fascinating because he takes this ego response of him saying that, is it really so bad to be with me that you rather die, right? That's what he got out of that. And when he said that, I kind of saw myself in there, right? Where we would rather accept this fake love, this forced relationship over something that's authentic, that was consensual between both partners. And I realized I wasn't doing it primarily in romantic or relationship settings, but mainly socially, right? To my friends, I would have high expectations, and it's because I really do care about them. But it was all for myself, and that selfishness is really what haunted me, right? I didn't want my friends to be better so that they could be better. I want them to be better so I could have better friends. You see where the disconnect is, and the movie kind of really showed me this way of thinking, and I've since then have been really cognitive on changing that form of thought. And maybe you do it too, where you push your friends to do certain things. Hey, let's do this. Let's go out. Let's pick girls up. Let's let's get two jobs. I don't know what it is. Maybe you're pushing your friend really hard, but if you're doing that, you need to stop and ask your friend what they really want to do, right? And I think when I really watched that in the movies, it really bothered me, the relationship between Bear and Nikki, and I couldn't put a finger on it until my drive home from the gym afterwards. I discovered that I've been doing this wishing in form of social architecture. So I would manipulate and engineer things to be better. And I never had ill intentions, besides it being somewhat selfish. But the selfishness was pride in knowing that my friends were doing good. But that's all subjective, right? My idea of good is maybe not their idea of good. And that's where the cruelty comes from. Where Bear wanted Nikki to just simply love him, it's cruel because he never really cared of what Nikki thought. He only really cared about what he thought. And that's kind of what I discovered. And maybe you can add on to this. Maybe you felt the same thing, or maybe there's unease when you watch the movie that maybe I'm kind of, putting the 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 tip of the iceberg out, and maybe you can elaborate more. But that's kind of what I discovered, and it was very impactful when I first discovered it, and still is. But let me know what you think.